Hi everyone, I'm Sanjana and I have Samay Jain with me today. And let's talk to Sam about creating a B2B SaaS website that converts. We'll be answering questions like important SaaS website elements, creating a website funnel, and how to measure website conversions and more. So stay tuned. And let me introduce Sam to you. Sam is the co founder and CEO of Rivia.AI. Rivia is a YC backed startup building a no code platform for GTM teams to create interactive product demos. Before this, he was the founding member of another unicorn SaaS product called Observe.AI, leading the company's product and marketing efforts. So, hi, Sam. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Sanjana. Thank you for having me over.
It's a pleasure to have you here, of course. And yeah, let's get straight to the topic. I have 4 to 5 questions that came to my mind, and I want to start by asking, what are the important SaaS website elements that marketers should focus on when they are trying to build out a website?
Sure. So I think the first thing that I would want to talk about is a quick framework that I usually follow while building any website, and that's basically just comparing your SaaS website to a retail storefront, and just thinking about that website from that standpoint. So maybe 4 or 5 elements that you need to make sure are part of your website is one, uh, discoverability. So make sure it's search engine optimized, it's discoverable by search engines, you have your meta tags titles in place. That's one. Second is make sure your website is ambient in the sense that you don't have any clunky UI, you don't have any fancy animations that distract the users. Third is talk a lot about the pain points that you solve. Just think about your website as a way to educate your customers, and not to sell a product. So it's that's the primary goal of your website. So write a lot about the problem statement that you solve. So this could be problem pages, feature pages, solution pages. Third is another very important part, which is essentially building trust from your website. So add a lot of case studies, maybe your product hunt launch badges, G2 badges, testimonials, stuff like that. And the final part is make sure it's easy to check out. This could either be doing a sign up, seamless sign up process, or a seamless request to demo process. So basically these 4 5 things.
Amazing. Glad that you could share all of these elements in a very simple way. And my other question is since you already come from a product background and now Rivia is focused on selling to GTM teams, I want to ask who owns the website? Is it marketers or product marketers? Um, and what role do they play in building a company's website or converting visitors?
Yeah, I think it depends a lot on the stage of the company. So for a very early stage company with, let's say, less than 10 employees, it would be the founders that actually own the website. And once you have your first product marketing hire, they should be the ones who are owning the website. I mean, they obviously would have a team around them of let's say some developer or graphic
Yeah.
designers, but it should be the product marketing team that owns the website. In terms of the roles that they play, I think the first and the most important thing that I feel is a product marketer should ensure that they're able to convert your product features into benefits, and just make sure that website talks about the benefits and doesn't talk
Yeah.
about like thousands of features you have. It talks
Yeah.
about the benefits that you're trying to build. That's the first thing that you would want to ensure. The second thing is, based on the things that we talked about earlier on the different elements that a SaaS website should have, figure out the focus area of the company, right? I mean, if let's say the website is lacking in, let's say, trust, focus on that one part and just like double down in that one part.
Yeah.
And the third is obviously handling the logistical issues getting the designs ready, getting it developed, writing the content. That's obviously the third part. And the fourth part that I would say would be kind of figuring out a sustainable distribution model for the company. Uh, yeah, I think these four parts.
I think that summarizes the answers there. And I see that Rivia is building is a platform that builds interactive product demos for the marketers. Now, like, since you're in that domain, I want to ask, like, how do you create a website funnel that's backed by product demos or product training, or like, where does product demo or product training fit into the website funnel?
Uh, Good question. And the first of all, it honestly depends a lot on the kind of product you're trying to sell. But what has worked very well for us, it's essentially what we do is, one, just list down all the personas and all the benefits that your product solves, right? Just like take a paper, list these down. Second, break these benefits down into very small value propositions, like very small comprehensive value propositions. These cannot be something like, oh, we help you save cost. No. One very small, very minuscule value prop, and then build content around all of those value props. So if, let's say, you have 30, 40, 50 value props, build all forms of content for those value props and just like start pushing it on your website, social media, or whatever mediums you use. And the reason I'm such a huge fan of these product training led GTM motion is, whenever a customer who's already trained with the product converts or signs up for the product, they already have a goal in mind. They already know what they want to do. So this essentially means that the moment they sign up, it's already they have started already getting value from the product because they know what they want to do. So it's much easier to convert, much better conversions.
Yeah. And I think it's also a good idea to like show them, these product demos on their website, because like I've seen some websites have a button called book a call or book a meeting, but I don't know like if that works really well, because like nobody wants to book a call and then wait for it and then like talk to a salesperson and like get the demo, because like I think it needs to be like it should happen like instantly. And I think that's where product demos, like it's very essential. And I think for product marketers, I think they're for like the three goals that they have in building a website would be like messaging, focusing on messaging, and then focusing on positioning, and then the next part would be videos. And by videos, it's just not explainer videos. We have evolved so much from there, and now I think we are into the era of creating these interactive demos, right, and giving them a good experience before even they sign up to the product. We want to show them how it looks like, and we want to like let them play around with it and then decide whether to sign up or not. And I think that's like a great thing that's happening in the marketing field.
Yeah, I mean, if you again compare your website to a retail storefront, when if you go and buy a cloth, you always try the cloth before buying, right?
Yeah,
But in SaaS, it's like, okay, fill this form, then talk to a salesperson, and then only maybe I'll let you try the product. I think that's something that doesn't work in today's time. So you have to give your users a way to try what you're selling. I mean, like,
exactly.
just give them some way. It could be either self sign up or interactive demos. But I think that's super crucial in if you're like selling SaaS today.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So the next question which I'm about to ask is, I think, is on every marketer's mind, which is, what do you measure, and like how to measure when like tracking a website conversion? Like, how do you measure that? Like, what's the right way to go about it?
Um, I think one thing that I've actually realized, which is more contradictory in nature, is people tend to over measure and not under measure. So just have one metric for each part of a funnel and just track those metrics religiously. So for let's say top of the funnel, I would measure maybe the number of impressions your website is getting. Second is out of those impressions, how many of these visitors are actually visiting your website. Third is out of the people visiting, how many are actually engaging maybe with your interactive demos or with your videos or with let's say your case studies. Once you have this engagement number, then I would move it down to how many of these are actually converting to either a sign up or request a demo, and then uh, finally to revenue numbers. So just one number for each step of the funnel. And then in terms of tools, I think your holy grail is obviously the Google Analytics, Search Console, your CRM data. And if you're focusing on some part of your funnel, I would say like get some tools to drill deeper on those analytics. So for example, if your focus area is to increase the engagement rate of your website, I would maybe use something like a Hotjar to record my sessions and figure out okay what people are doing.
Interesting. And speaking of, website conversion, you also touched upon the PLG side of things, which is like signing up to a free trial. So, like, how is product-led growth, you know, influencing website conversion? Like, how do you utilize product-led growth model in the right way to boost conversion?
I think PLG PLG, as I said, it's directly related to how well you can convert. The premise of PLG is that you are depending on your product to drive revenue, and you're not depending on a salesperson to drive that revenue, right?
Yeah.
So because in PLG, your product is the star of your show, your website kind of becomes the stage of that star, right? So just make sure that your website has all forms of training materials, all forms
Mhm.
of content that you import, that if someone visits your website, your product should be enough to kind of make them decide, okay, if this is something that I want, maybe something that I want in the future, or it's not for me. So I think it's like entirely directly related.
Yeah, like, yeah, I totally, understand that. Now, yeah, I think we've covered like all the questions. Just one last question, right? And I think I know the answer, but I just want to ask you. There are like two models, which is like one is PLG and SLG, which are the most used, models in the industry. Now, uh, do you think like these interactive demos kind of thing works well for one of these models or like both the models? What's your opinion on that?
I think it works for both, and I mean the kind of influence that an interactive demo has on your revenue numbers might change based on PLG or SLG.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll So for example, in PLG, because there's no salesperson involved, the involvement of an interactive demo would be much higher, and it would directly
Yeah.
correlate to your conversion numbers. But in sales-led growth, even in sales-led growth, I think we are at a time wherein customers already do their research before talking to a salesperson.
Okay.
So if you want your sales guy to book demo calls, you need to enable your buyers to learn more about the product themselves. So
Yeah.
it becomes crucial even for SLG motions.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. All right, so that's the end. And yeah, like this was absolute fun. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today, Sam. I'll give your LinkedIn profile and your website in the description so people can connect with you later if they have more questions about building a website that's backed by product training. Yeah, that's all. Anything from your side to say?
100%. I mean, it was great interacting with you, and this was kind of my first experience of being on a YouTube channel, so it was really fun.
Amazing. Yeah, it was nice talking to you, Sam, and talk to you soon. Bye bye.
Thanks, Anjana. Bye.